All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Lakeville Park Commission meeting. In accordance with the provisions allowed by Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, the December 6th, 2021 public meeting of the Lakeville Park Commission will be held remotely. However, to view this meeting in progress, please go to facebook.com/lakecam. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at lakecam.tv. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Scott, Paula, and Nellie. First item on the agenda is review and approve the meeting minutes from June 7th and August 16th. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at them?
Yes,
Scott, have you?
I have not, but the first one I wasn't at, I guess.
You
Yeah,
joined,
June,
You joined like 6:36, it said.
Oh,
yeah, sorry, I'll add you to the members present.
So I don't have any corrections or anything like that. Paula, do you have anything?
no, it was very good.
Scott, do you feel comfortable voting yes or no on this one?
I feel plenty confident.
All right, well, I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes of June 7th, 2021. Can I get a second?
Second it,
Second it is.
I second it.
Any discussion? All right, the motion is to approve the minutes. Scott, how do you vote?
Yes,
Paula,
Yes,
motion passed. Meeting minutes.
So you need to vote.
I vote yes.
Okay.
Motion passed. That's right for the quorum. You're right.
Yeah.
Motion passed. Okay, next one. The minutes from the August 16th meeting. Does anybody have a chance to review those? Any
Yes.
questions, complaints, anything before we,
no questions.
none?
no
Paul?
questions.
All right, I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes from the August 16th meeting. Any discussion? Nope. All right. Let's see, how do you want to vote to approve them? Yay means yes, nay means no. Scotty, how do you vote?
Yay,
Paula?
Yay,
Joe, yay. Motion passes. The minutes have been approved. Thank you very much, Nellie. Next item on the agenda, review the questions for the Survey Monkey. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Scott, if you have not, I guess I just want to have a little discussion about these here. Just some information for me, I guess. I want to make sure that if we do this, I guess I don't really know what the reason is why we're doing it, for one. And secondly, we are not a rec department. So we don't offer programs and things like that. So I just want to make sure that we don't mislead people if we go forward with the survey, that we're going to be even hosting events and things like that. We don't do that. We don't bring programs in. We just manage the parks.
you could come in.
Was that?
Nothing.
Oh, sorry. Anybody any other input on that one there? I just want to make sure we're clear that we're not misleading people. And I just trying to find out what we're trying to accomplish by getting this, because there's a cost associated with this, and plus it's gonna take some resources to go through all the return surveys. We gotta figure out how we would do that if we do move forward with it. I did go in and modify some of the questions, or I gave my feedback on the Google Docs. If I don't know if everybody's able to see that, but I'm just thinking some of the questions we had in there were kind of leading the people a little bit. I just, if we're going to ask what they want at the parks, I don't think we want to give them a 5 items to choose from, because that might be not what they want to do. So I guess I want some input on what people think and how we want to structure questions if we really want to move forward with the survey, because I'm struggling with what we're trying to accomplish by this survey. So I don't know if you can answer any of that, Paula, or not, or Scott, or anybody.
Oh, I'll start off by saying that we indeed are involved in the park system, and it was so voted at that time in 1990, according to the Lakeville Town Report. And so we do offer recreation, but we have not offered any programs. And that's where we're going with this, is to do more in the park system and to make it more usable. And to offer that, we have to ask questions. And the reason why the questions were presented was to see if people have any opinion about what they're not getting in the parks. And in order to move forward, we need to start offering more to the community other than just sports. And that is why the survey is being addressed. And that is why the questions were put to begin with. And I certainly like questions. There's a couple that maybe we can eliminate, but definitely we want to survey the community and give them the opportunity to choose things that may be helpful to them, or shall we say, interesting to them to bring into the park, whether it's a yoga class or whether it's a dance class or a music class or whatever. But I think we need to offer more, and we're not doing it.
But we don't, right now, if somebody wanted to utilize the park for a yoga class, they'd come up to us and ask, and it's like everybody else does. We don't offer anything. We do not put on it. We don't function it, hold the function. So again, that we're not a rec department. We manage the parks, but we don't bring programs. We don't have the infrastructure to support that.
Well, I think that that's what we're talking about here, is to bring more into the parks. And one of the reasons is that we're not offering anything, and we should be offering more things because we're having a budget that should be allowing for some programs. And there's no harm in offering programs as part of the Park Commission and the Enterprise Fund. And I know that we just pay to play, but that's not good enough.
Nellie?
I just wanted to point out that historically, we have never had a recreation budget fit into our fiscal year budget. And also that we don't have any sort of park manager or recreation director to manage any programs coming in. I feel the commission already works a ton, right? Like, this is a full working commission. Everybody's on top of running a park and running a sport and scheduling such things. So who would be in charge of programs?
We're not going to be setting up a lot of programs, I'm sure, but when you offer a certain program, say it's during the week when the park is not being used, I don't think that's very difficult to do.
Well, somebody
And-
has to manage it and schedule it appropriately. So are you saying that
No,
the
we
commissioners
have to
will just go ahead and do it?
I think that we can offer this to groups that want to do things in the park, just like pay to play, but we can also offer small programs that shouldn't cost a lot, but definitely should be using the park, all the parks. I mean, you take a simple thing like Clear Pond Park that obviously doesn't make any money. And there's no reason why we couldn't have a biathlon in the spring and a triathlon in the fall. And sponsor something to bring in money. I mean, there are many things that we can do, and we just are not doing it.
Nellie?
Go ahead.
I would still state that the question is who manages it. A biathlon or a triathlon, even with TriFest, requires a lot of scheduling and making sure insurance is in, making sure the place is scheduled and the needed items are available. Things to that extent. It's not sort of just hey, come on in. Somebody still has to keep track of who's in on where, when, are they paying us? Do we need insurance? What's going on? So I still question the who would manage.
Well, I think that there are people that have programs out there that we can use, just like TriFest has somebody that runs their program. I'm sure we can find somebody that can manage ours in terms of that. I think that managing it, I mean, they're going to come and schedule things through you, just like they do, everybody else does with their pay to play. So what's different about this?
I don't schedule pay to play. That's the commissioners that do that. I just receive the final schedule to try to keep track of everything. So
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
manage programs coming in. So
You won't
TriFest,
manage
let's
them.
say, I'm sorry, TriFest, let's say, yes, they have a director for TriFest, but the director has historically worked with SEM and now Boston Tavern, and they manage it. So my question still stands of, is it a new employee you're looking to get in to manage programs and recreation at the park, or is this going to be split up between the commission?
I think that each commissioner can handle their own, just like they do the parks. And it's a matter of getting an interest, a group interest, and bringing them in and see what they want. And, you know, if it's a simple program, I'm not talking about, you know, having a big music festival here, but I'm talking about bringing things in that can be usable. And that's to be discovered. I mean, there are opportunities out there that we haven't explored that we need to do. And the community certainly would be, I'm sure, very, shall we say, interested in us doing more than what we're doing.
I think, but Paula, again, when we do not run programs, if somebody wants to have a yoga class or a tri-fest, they come to us, they ask, they use the parks, they go through the whole process, which you know. We are not going to reach out to people, say, hey, we're going to put on a tri-fest, will you come? We don't do that. We don't have the infrastructure for it. We don't have the resource. It was nothing. We just don't, we don't support that. So there's no reason why those people who, if they want to have events at the parks, can't come to us with a package of how they want to handle it. They manage it. We allow them to use the fields or whatever it is, the facilities, whatever. But we don't, or not that I know of, going to plan to start running things on our own, because we are not a rec department. We are not set up that way. So again, if they want to have events there, whether it's in the middle of the week or weekends, nights, whatever, they can come and ask, but they have to manage it. We're just allowing them to use the facilities. Did I state that right, Nellie? Or, you know, Scott, am I off base on that one?
Where's
Anybody?
Scott?
I'm right here.
Nellie, did I state that right? Or
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
that's the way it's been in the past, mainly because of budget constraints. We discussed hiring a director full-time, but that was when there was talk of us taking over soccer, which would have generated funds to help pay for that person. If we were to bring in a director, they would have to be in a situation where they ran the programs. They would have to, I mean, we can't just support paying a salary plus health insurance plus benefits. It's going to cost us to the tune of $90,000 approximately. And to do that, we would need to be bringing in money, meaning they would need to run all the programs that are at the park. And these groups aren't going to relinquish that. So, I mean, it's a great idea. You know, I think it's a wonderful idea. It's just, it's always been a budget constraint. We've always been up against the wall when it came to funds and expenses. If you look at our current budget, we're up against the wall now, trying to take care of the fields and pay for that. We're not even sure where all the money's going to come from. I mean, because of the new takeover of the new management company, you know, I mean, I know Joe and Nellie have been working on that, but it's a tough thing. That's just my take on it. I mean, it would be great to do, but I just can't see it happening in the foreseeable future.
So you don't think that we should survey the community and see what they would like us to accomplish?
I never said that. Don't put those
No.
words in my mouth. I never said that.
I'm asking, do you think that we should not survey the community and see what they want? That was the purpose of this.
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
I never said that. I never said we shouldn't try this.
And I'm asking you a yes or no question, Scott.
I just said, I never said no.
Oh,
So
okay.
inevitably, that's a yes.
So,
Thank you.
but the point again, what do we're not, I don't want to put a survey out there that asks people if they would be interested in attending programs that we're putting on or anything that leads them in that direction, because we're not. You know, we could put on our website, hey, guys, we're open to any events you want to have, let us know, work with us, but we're not running anything. So I don't want
We're
to.
not running anything
People
yet, Joe.
Wait a minute, hold on. I just don't want to mislead people by getting their opinions that we're gonna start doing that. Because we're not. Right?
Obviously, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But is there anything wrong in surveying them for the future and to see what we can do better? That's my question.
I guess it comes down to the questions. I mean, a lot of the questions I saw, we were leading them into, I thought, the wrong direction. I don't know if Scott, he hasn't had a chance to look at the survey that was out there. I gave feedback on some questions that I thought maybe, but I was leery that we were going to lead them in the path that to offer things that we don't offer or could not support. That's all.
And to
Okay.
answer that question, I have not. I have not had time. I've been working extensive hours. I just got home 5 minutes before this meeting started. I'm barely making it to the meetings right now. I haven't had time to look at anything.
So I think we need to obviously get feedback from the rest of the commissioners as well on which way they want to go. And I hopefully everybody will take a look at it and give their input, because I want to make sure everybody was able to give their input. A Tony and a Darlene, you know. So.
Well, both questions, yours and ours, are on the Google Doc, and anybody can go in and rephrase the question, say, eliminate this one, eliminate, or I don't like the format, whatever. So again, we're at a stalemate because we've been talking about this for a while, but we haven't had a lot of input. And I think that we need some feedback, and I still think we need to address this to the community. And I think we should look to the future and try to offer more than what we're doing. And I think this is one way of finding out what the community wants. That's the purpose. End of story.
The only thing I could say is that's, I guess, Paula, maybe if you take the lead, if you could see if you get feedback, follow up with Scott maybe after this, down the road a little bit, give time to do it. Follow with Darlene and Tony if they've given any feedback, and then we get everything, we'll put it together and we'll discuss it. Because right now, I think the only feedback it's had is mine, I think.
Yep, exactly.
So, I mean, that's what I would
Okay.
do. I think if you want to move forward, maybe you can try to get everybody to review it, give their input. And then we can have a vote
I'll
if we
follow up.
forward with questions, all right?
All righty.
All right, next one, present orientation packet for park commissioners. That must be either Nellie or Paula's.
It's mine, and I think I left the packet with Nellie because I couldn't send everything through the email. I can go through the packet. I know that probably it would be nice if you could see the whole packet. Did you see any of it, Joe?
No, where is it?
No. Well, it was on Google Doc, and
No,
the only thing that wasn't on Google Doc was the Ted Williams site map and the aerial, the Park Commission brochure with all the information of the 5 different parks. And of course, Mike Nolan had given me a nice document that was signed by Ted Williams as to the town being able to use his name. He granted permission with that, so I have the letter in there, which I framed and left in the office in case you want to put that up too, because it was in Ted Williams' handwriting. It was permission for understanding that he'll be co-issued on a liability. he was allowing the town to use his name for Ted Williams Camp, but he also had wanted to make sure that he was on the liability policy for less than $1 million. Thought that was pretty historic. So, and since we were talking about when the park began and when it started from the park in the cemetery in 1915 and advanced to they called it the Lakeville baseball camp. And then, although many people referred to it as a Ted Williams camp, so they got official permission. And after that part of the history, it talks about the enterprise fund when that came into being. And thank goodness Scott had remembered the time period when the enterprise fund came into being, because there were no reports between 1990 and 94. So we found them in the clerk's office, and that is also documented. The mission and vision statement is part of the packet. We jotted down some things to know. Not everything is there, but it always can be added to on Google Doc, but at least it starts them out. And then it will go to the town officials that we most often interact with, such as the selectmen and the Board of Health and the town administrator assistant, HR, and let's see, the grounds people that we have, which are Ryan and Bob, and the facilities assistant. So their names are there, so people are familiar with who we're talking about when they come on board.
So
And
this
of
is on
course, the last,
This is on Google Docs. Is there a hard copy anywhere available?
the hard copies in the office with Nellie. I left 2 copies. All the pack, there's 2 packets there. And this was already edited by our librarians in town, so it's pretty accurate. I know it's accurate. And it's just so to help new people, and hopefully it will help. I know what it was like when I came on, not knowing who you were talking about sometimes, and things like that, and what the rules were, especially when you talk about the agenda. And Nellie has to have the agenda within a certain amount of time. You have to review it. Then it goes to the clerk, and then it has to be posted 48 hours before. All these things are not something that people generally know. So hopefully we can use this packet, and in this, like I said, the maps, and I don't know if you can see this John Pond Park that was corrected, and everything about the parks is in there. So
is this something that's gonna be?
I can leave it in
eventually
the office.
On the, eventually land up on our website, or no?
Well, I thought if I can make up a few packets, like 10, and I can leave them in the office so that Nellie has the hard copies. And Nellie was going to try to scan the rest to us, I think. I don't think she got a chance to do it. She was busy, but we have the hard copies. So if you get any new people, you can give them this as a starter. That's all.
So can I suggest
Simple.
we don't make any more copies? We take a look at this. Everybody in the commission look at it, make sure it is ready to move forward with it. Can we do that? Make sure it is something that, not something we need to have edited. So I would say, hold up, let us look at it in the final version, give it our blessing and move forward with it. How's that?
Yeah,
I
well,
haven't
it's
seen the
there
final
in the
version yet.
office.
So in case of some stuff that maybe not accurate on all that, who knows? But I guess let all of us take a look at it.
I think it's pretty accurate. I spent a lot of time on it, and I think that it's pretty accurate, but that's okay. It's in the office. I don't know how we can get it to you.
I'd say leave it in the office. We'll take a look at it. Scott, you had a question?
Yep, Paula, don't you have to
Yep.
send us a link to those Google Docs or something?
No, you just go into Google Doc, and it'll say like Park Commission, it'll say Survey Monkey questions, all those are on Google Docs, and when you click on them, it'll bring up everything except the maps and the brochure, the Ted Williams letter, and the town officials.
Nellie,
Excuse me, but Google Docs where? I mean,
I'm-
I'm on Google Docs and I don't see any of that. So
Nellie's got information here. Nellie,
You do need a link, Scott. You're correct.
Thank you.
Tony had sent them out in October, and I
Okay.
can forward it right over to you. And the link will give you access to it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks. I thought everybody was on, but I guess not. Okay.
all right. Is that all? Anything else on that one?
No,
Next item.
it's finished.
Okay, next item, discuss screen sharing during virtual meetings. I don't know, I think that might have been Tony's.
Yeah, he
was.
was just, yeah, I think he was just asking that we put that into place like the other boards have that screen sharing.
We'll have to make sure everybody understands how to do that and what to share, because it does become permanent record if it's been shared, so I just want to be careful. Like I said, I've got 2 screens. I use this stuff for work, so I'd have to be careful myself, but I was putting up there the screen share. I don't know about anybody else. Scott, probably the same way. Nellie, your question?
I'm taking minutes during the meeting and I'm on an iPad. I can't rightly easily screen share.
So who would be
How do they
screen
do that,
sharing?
Millie?
Tony might be able to. I think he's usually on his laptop. So I don't use the video on my laptop because I'm normally monitoring Facebook and taking meeting minutes at the same time. But my iPad is doing the Facebook meeting, the Zoom meeting. So via my iPad, I can't readily just get those documents up and out. Tony might be able to. He might be maybe we keep it to one person, just, throwing the stuff to the screen that's comfortable doing it.
I'm sure if you ask Tony, he probably is more adept at doing this and wouldn't mind. He just wanted to make sure that we were on board with it.
Do we want to put this on the next meeting so he can talk about it?
If he wants to, I'd say if he wants to send us some information on it, maybe instead of waiting for the next meeting. I don't think it's nothing we have to vote on. So it's just something we have to decide we want to allow it to happen. So if he wants to give us an overview, that'd be great. What he's thinking. I know what screen sharing is and all that. Do an awful lot. I do it a lot myself, but I just wondering if he had something else in mind that I just don't know of. All right. So we'll see if he can maybe do that. All right. Next one. Review financials for all parks. I think this is yours, Nellie.
No, somebody else had put that on there, but I did already send everybody the most updated financials with all of our bills in there. So everybody already has a copy of that.
What about I think he was referencing John Pond and Ted Williams Camp, how much did we take in? Is that what you sent?
All of our revenue and expenses are in the spreadsheet that I sent.
Okay,
Like we've mentioned before, some of the revenue or expense items are not separated by park. I do try to notate which park is which, so you can go through and take a look at it. And we're looking to separate those buckets for the next budget. But I have to match the budget so we can keep on track and in line. But you can take a look, like field rentals, you'll see if you click on the tab or you click in expenses and then you just click on field rentals, it'll take you to the tab. Revenue, sorry. And you go to field rentals, you just click right on it, and it'll take you to the tab. You'll see all the different leagues that have paid us. So it's one bucket of field rentals. It's not separated by John Pond or Ted Williams.
oh, so, and then at the end, is there some total revenue that comes from these two that shows us what we took in from the?
Not
from
per
all the
park,
parks?
in total.
Oh, okay, is that on that sheet also? Is that on the spreadsheet, I guess?
Yes, everything we take in or we send out is on the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
All right, any other discussion on that one? I think it's got a ton of information in there, Leah. It's a nice job with that. Very good, especially the links, and I like clicking on things and moving over to them. Good idea.
It's a pretty good spreadsheet.
Yep. All right, anybody, any other questions on this one? All right, moving right along. Next one. Review recent meeting with the Lakeville Athletic Club. This is mine. I met last week, I met with Rich Anthony at the Lakeville Athletic Club. He reached out to us, wanted to get the ball rolling, some discussion going on. He'd like to talk to us, we discuss possibly working with us on the tennis and / pickleball courts. Something we could do. Maybe they said they wouldn't mind managing or having, if people want to sign up for like tennis time, it would go through the athletic club. We would get fees for people using the area, but they would manage the tennis and pickleball courts for us. They'd be interested in doing some maintenance. Maybe, helping out with the painting, possibly they have a maintenance man on staff. So he could maintain the courts for us, things like that. So it's just the initial discussions. I mentioned it to the town administrators. I'll have a discussion with them, what we have to do going forward, even if we want to go forward or not. But it was just an option because they see the the tennis / pickleball courts empty a lot. And they said they wouldn't mind partnering with us to manage maybe the different leagues that go there. And if people want to sign up for time, like an hour, when I was a kid, you signed up for an hour to play tennis, you got reserved time. They would do that for us. They would handle that. So I think it's something we can think about. Don't have anything more than that, but that was just the initial meeting we had. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts about that or any ideas, but it seemed like a nice avenue to go down. Anybody?
you think that he wants to pursue it? Do you think he wants to pursue it, Joe? Like set up a plan, come talk to us or something like that? Or?
Somewhat, yeah, yes. He wants to know what our interest is. If I got to get some input on what we have to do. Obviously, it'd have to be a contract. We have to pass by the town and all that. How this would handle it. We would get money and they would make some money on it. So it wouldn't be a loss or anything like that. But they might be able to help out with some of the maintenance on there. They talked about they have a guy that does painting. So maybe they can help us out with the painting of the courts like we wanted to do and fill in the cracks. Maybe we can make some improvements over there with them. Maybe lights. I don't know. Maybe just clean up the area around there. Who knows? But they are interested in working with us on that one. So,
And would they be bringing teams in to use the court? Right?
yeah. Groups will be going through them for using the courts. They'd help.
Would we
They'd
be
help
charging
schedule them.
Yeah. Do you think we'd be charging a fee or are we swapping off maintenance for
No.
them using the courts?
We'd be making some money on it. Once again, I was going to take a look at what we made in the past 3 years per year, and maybe there's a certain amount of money we want to make per year, but see how it goes or something. I don't know. We haven't gotten that much detail how they would be paid, how we would be paid, and all that. But it just wanted to see if we were interested in going down that road a little bit. It sounds pretty good, especially because they see a need for people who might want to have tennis lessons or play tennis. Because once again, you drive by, you see someone there, you're going to keep on driving. But if they knew they could call a certain number and get reserved court time, maybe more people would play over there. So, again, I think it could benefit both of us. Don't know anything more than that. So I'll stay in contact with them and see if we can try to get some solidified ideas. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Sound like a good idea possible?
Yeah, I think that if you can involve them and follow up and see if they are serious about doing this, I think it helps. I think it's a great idea.
It would be nice to see more usage over there. And like I said, we wouldn't commit to anything until we pass it by this board and as well as the town. But I'll get more information. I'll let you know what they're thinking. All right. So,
Good.
so that was that. Next one, discuss annual use of Clear Pond Park for church baptism and possible other events. I don't know if that was Tony's or Paula's.
I know Tony spoke to the group because he had opened up the park for them that day. So all I know is when they provided us with their donation, they did make mention that they would like to make that baptism off season of Clear Pond an annual event where they could use it and provide a donation, etc. But I know Tony spoke to them about some other stuff possibly.
Anybody
I
have any
think
other?
Tony's gonna do it. I don't know anything about it, but I think Tony will have to address it at the next meeting.
All right. I guess Nelly, if you want, we'll put that on the next agenda, next meeting's agenda. How's that?
Sounds
So,
good.
Next one, review budget forms for next fiscal year. Nellie and I sat down today trying to hog out some of the budget items. One glaring thing that I think we have to address or discuss, same issue we had last year. What about Clear Pond? Are we gonna keep it the same as it was last year, or do we want to discuss making any changes because it didn't do well financially last year, obviously, or this past year? So,
Right.
what are our plans to stay the course, or what? Do we have any ideas what we think we might want to do?
I think we're gonna stay the course with the exception of we would like to invite Freetown and Middleborough to join in the residence.
I mean, we have to obviously review that as a board and vote on that. I think I'd be hard pressed to exclude other towns and allow some. I don't know what everybody else feels on that one. But
Well, I think that we owe it to Freetown because we do share the school district, and Middleborough shares their pool with us and they don't charge us any extra. So I think it's just complimentary.
again, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't sign for, if we're gonna do residents or open up to everybody. I don't think we want to exclude people. We got a boatload of backlash this past year. Again, I think we have to discuss as a group here. I'd be interested to see, Scott, what do you have, any feedback at all? As I said, look, I'm gonna go in with a budget, I'm gonna take a guess, but it could be higher or lower, but that a lot of this budget's gonna hinge on Clear Pond Park making, or losing less money or having something, but the last year's numbers were upside down on us. So I'd be hard pressed to say we're gonna stay the course, knowing what happened. But again, we'll have to debate that, discuss that at another meeting, but we have to do it rather soon, because it is the end of the year, and probably next meeting is gonna be January. We have to decide how we're gonna do it. We don't wanna wait until April or May. We're looking for a director and all the other stuff, see what we're gonna do. So I'd say by January, we gotta make a decision what we're gonna do at Clear Pond Park. But definitely some changes from last year, my opinion. So, but again, looking at the budget numbers, we're a little upside down. So,
Is that anything unusual for Clear Pond Park?
well, I mean, the big ticket item is the gate fees, okay? Gate fees, a lot of people not from Lakeville pay those gate fees. The last couple of weeks of the year, everybody's got passes from Lakeville. No one's paying, we're not making any money, just people who, it's for free. So you're not making any money there. We weren't, I know because of the lifeguard situation due to COVID, I understand that. We weren't able to have swimming lessons, but we didn't have any parties that I know of. Again,
One.
another moneymaker, one party, small one, I think it was. No, we had no money-making events there. We're way under capacity there. So I just don't see people from Lakeville swarming to get there. It didn't happen this year. Maybe it's a fluke, but again, I think we have some opportunity there, especially the gate fees, that people, hot day, they're gonna come by, and now they can't. But that's just one item, but that's a issue we gotta address, or what our plan is for next year. And time, it'll be here before we know it. So that's my thought on that one. I will be sitting down with the town administrator and the town accountant to go over some of the budget items that I drafted out later this week. I'll pass it by you guys so you can see it. We also have to talk about the capital plan for next year and beyond. What we thinking of capital projects? I think we got one big one. We got to talk about the ball fields, the parking area, and the new fields. I know one of them was left. Another one was left off the list last year was the building at John Pond. I don't know if we still want to include that or not, but we're gonna identify what we're thinking for capital projects going forward. All right. And there's some other
Joe?
budget. Yep. Yep.
Wouldn't it be prudent to take the last year's 5-year plan and work
Well,
from that?
Well, as I was gonna do, I was gonna send out so people to see that. Yeah, yes.
Right.
If
Right.
there's
I mean,
any changes to it.
obviously modifications can be made, but that's already in and okayed by the town.
Right, so we have to see, some of them, I think there might be some tweaks we want to make, but I'll send that out to everybody, yeah. I
Absolutely.
wasn't gonna reinvent the wheel, you're right. I didn't mean to state that way there, yeah. So anything anybody wants to add? I mean, money wise, we're not flush with cash. So again, it's gonna be another tight year. COVID has bitten us in a hiney. We have not seen the big money yet from Loon Pond Lodge, so I think it's another tight year on expenses.
They didn't actually start at Loon Pond till what, May?
Yep.
And they just got a license. My understanding is, according to the select board's meeting, they have a full-time license now, so that changes some of the revenue that comes in with that we'll get part of, but my understanding is that that's cleared up and that will be doing a lot better.
Yeah, so we won't see that till end of next year into 2023 budget type, time frame. So again, like I said, I think it's gonna be another tight year for getting things done. All right. Next one, items from the clerk. Nellie, you got a couple things on here. The alarm system company.
Yes, just to update everybody, our alarm system company for the alarm system at the Loon Pond Lodge was sold. So it is not the Innovative Security Systems anymore, which was more of a local company. They did sell to Black Lab Alarms. I'm forgetting where it's from. It may be like in Brockton. It's not like it's out of state or anything. So it did update. Our newest invoice for our yearly fee for the alarm just came in under the new company with a letter from the old company stating that they did sell. So just to let everybody know, everything should still work the same. No, nothing should be changing. It's just the company.
Scott,
Through you, Mr. Chairman. Nellie, has the price changed?
No, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
I double checked that.
Do we want to look into a new company?
Possible?
now that alarm on it, I mean, do we have access to that? We don't have access to the building. So what is that alarm? I mean, we're not gonna go in there, right?
Right. I mean, we really set it up when we were using it a lot more, which we don't. Boston Tavern's really there 24/7, really.
Are they using the alarm?
I don't think that they are.
So should we even bag it?
Well, they were interested at the beginning to add to the alarm, like cameras and such, but there was a lot going on at that moment. So we didn't pursue anything from that, but it might be a good time to speak to them to see if they want to take it over.
Yeah,
Pay
I
the
mean,
yearly fee, add cameras.
if they're not using it, why should we pay what is it, $400 a year?
Yes.
I mean, just to sit there and use up batteries, it doesn't make sense.
So why can't we just notify them that we're gonna be discontinuing that alarm? If they want to have their own alarm, they can. Or take over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You might want to give them the option to take that over.
Yeah.
And then they can arm it and disarm it and be responsible for it when it goes off in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Do you want me to start talking to them about it?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
Okay. Oh, so that was it for that. So I'll talk Boss Tavern and see if they want to just take it over.
Yep.
Yeah, before you pay the annual fee.
Yes. It was in our bills just to go ahead and do, but I can just pull it.
So for next year, right? So for next year
Well,
going
it
forward.
starts in November of this year. So
Okay,
it was
so
a
we-
November to November timeframe.
Right, that would make sense, because that's when SEM took over. You know, I mean, if
Right.
they want to take it over, I mean, obviously, we'd have to pay from November through December, but maybe they want to prorate it and take it over. And that way they can turn it on, turn it off as they want. It's just a thought.
Yep.
Especially if we're tight for expenses.
Could save us $400 plus batteries.
Right, if they're not gonna use it, why are we paying for it?
Yep. Right. Yeah, if you can do that, Nelly, that'd be great.
I'll ask them.
Thank you.
Next one, then, Nelly, I think was request to promote Mucky's redemption service.
Yes, the owner of Mucky's recently talked to Tracy, the executive assistant for the Board of Selectmen, and was wondering if we could promote their redemption at the transfer station, which benefits the park department. You know, he's witnessed a lot of cans and bottles being put in either the metal or glass area versus their bin at the transfer station. They, you know, want to continue to promote and help out the park commission, which has been very helpful. The funds that they've been able to raise with just those redemptions are pretty good.
Yeah,
So they
you're
just
welcome.
wanted to promote it more.
Scott started that, I believe, right?
I just wanted to say you're welcome. I contribute all my bottles and cans.
I do as much as I can, Scott, you know what I'm saying?
And Nelly, maybe, and through you, Joe, but maybe we should ask the town if ask the town hall if it would be possible if they could put up a sign, maybe behind the redemption area, saying, you know, this is being done by Muckies at their time and expense, and the proceeds are going to the park. Please deposit your bottles here. I mean, whatever they'd like to put, you know, I mean, even if we get I wouldn't want to say that we'd try and get a sign, because it might take 2 years to get one. But you know, I mean, first, I think we have to get the okay from the town hall, you know, and then maybe he has a sign that he wants to put up, you know, and
Well, there is a sign, and it says redemption picked up by Muckies. All proceeds go to Town of Lakeville, Ted Williams Camp. There, but it's in the way far end. I don't know if you guys have donated, so you've seen it. It's on the way far end. So I think he feels that not a lot of people know that it's all the way over there. And if they just kind of bring their stuff and throw it in, it supports the park commission.
so what does he want us to do?
Well, Tracy was saying she would put it up on the website. I took a couple pictures to show people what it was, so that way they could notice it a little bit more. And then we can post it on our social media as well. You know, number one, thanking Muckies for their several years of doing this and the donations to the park, which have been fantastic. And then to also inform people that, hey, it's there. Don't throw your stuff in the glass and metal. Help the parks out.
I'm all for it.
Would we use the newspaper to make any announcement like that? Like the Gazette? Would that help?
Because that's out of print.
Oh, okay.
It is, unfortunately. Now, if we need to use any newspaper for anything, it's got to go
Standard
towards
Times.
the Standard Times instead. We were actually, I was just talking to Joe about it, and the Gridiron section, if we were going to be able to do that this year or not. Oh, actually, that already passed, and
It's already gone. I was wondering about that, and
they didn't send us anything.
they didn't have it.
They didn't have it at all, huh?
No.
That's sad.
All right, yeah, see what we come up with, Nelly, that'd be great.
Yeah, I've got the pictures. I've already sent them to Tracy, and she said she'll post the website. I'll post the social media, and we'll try to garner some more attention to it.
Beautiful. All right, thank you very much. anything new anybody might add at all that we might have missed?
I get some old business.
Okay, just in a second here, one quick one. Recently I was down at John Pond in the snack bar. I noticed there was a sign on one of the soda coolers. It said, "Do not plug in. It will smoke," or whatever, it smokes. So I think that's never a good thing. So I happened to see on Facebook this about a week or two ago, there was somebody in town giving away a cooler similar to that, but smaller. So I went and they gave it to us for nothing. It was Brian and Katie Gonzalez had a cooler. So I got it down in John Pond right now in the snack bar there. It's a little smaller than the last one, but hopefully it'll do the trick as long as it keeps the soda and stuff cool. So just to give them a little shout out, I said if people want to donate stuff like that's workable, but definitely we'll definitely accept. Scott,
Yeah,
you had something?
The smoking one is obviously a big upgrade, so that's great. Good.
Yeah, it saves me from having to fix the darn thing, take a look at it. So now
Yeah.
I'll probably just get rid of it.
We'll pick up the ash, one or the
Yeah,
other.
exactly. So anyway, that was awfully nice there. So just want to give them a shout out. Any old business? Scott, you got some?
Just a question on the haunted house.
I have not gotten an update from Nate. I was going to reach out to him today and I forgot. I know he said that the quotes were due by December 1st. So I'll follow up with him and see where we are on that one. Because I know they want to have the bids, by December 1st and hopefully get it done by the end of the year. So I'll find out where we are with that and I'll give everybody an update. I'll send an email out where we are on that one.
Thank you.
Sooner the better for me, I'll tell you, getting that thing down.
Thank you.
Paula,
Yeah, Joe, did you need the freezer from Clear Pond Park? It
No,
works.
we have one down there at John Pond. I'd say maybe we keep it in within the town still. Maybe come spring, somebody might want it. I wouldn't get rid of it just yet down there over there at Clear Pond.
Yeah,
but-
no, I was thinking, could we offer that to like the fire department or the police station, or do any of them, would they need it? Can we ask?
I don't know. I'm just, what I would suggest doing, see how over the winter goes and see if we still have a need for it. See the next one in the spring. You never know. You're going to plug the old one in, it might not work or something. So I'd hang on until the spring and see what happens. And maybe you can ask then. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Nellie, you had your hand up for something?
Oh,
Okay.
no, we're gonna keep it there, which is a good idea, because what if the old one starts smoking?
There you go.
So that
No
works.
one likes a smoky cooler.
No one wants a smoky cooler.
Just two things on here, of course, again, I got the 3-year plan for the parks and the annual spreadsheet of what has to be done monthly at the parks. I can't stress enough to take a look at it. It's stuff we might have to add on there. Please take a look at it, because that could go along with the packet that you put together, Paula, of what gets done when. Again, the new people don't know that, what
Which
happens in
which
what month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, you had a spreadsheet on that. Is that on Google Doc that I can add stuff to? I can't remember if you sent it in the email or if it's on Google Doc.
But I believe it's on Google Docs. If it's not, I can add that. I thought Tony put it there. Nellie, can you see that right now? I don't have that up right now.
Yes, he did send it, parks annual to-do list. Yep, broken up by each park and each month.
Yep.
So it is there.
Now, are you talking about email or are you talking about Google Doc?
Tony had emailed us all the link for Google Docs.
Okay, so it's on Google Doc. So we should be able to go in there and just add our items.
Yes,
Correct.
you have to use the link to get to it.
Yeah, I think we have it. I know I saw it somewhere and I printed it out, but it didn't do well
I
printing
will
it out.
probably,
And so
I print out a big one and leave it at the office so they can see it as well. I'll put it on the table as well. But again, it only helps us out. Whatever park you have responsibility for, things that have to get done at certain months, we gotta put that on there. Because,
Could
Unless
we
people-
pencil it in at the office if we wanted to, if it didn't work out for me? And then I didn't get into it. I mean, I do have some ideas, so I could always pencil it in on your.
Pencil it in, or
hard
let me
copy.
know. Yeah, pencil in, and let me know what you want to add, and we can do that. We'll just keep it updated. All right,
Okay, and I added to your list, you and Tony had a list of things to do. No, they weren't by month, they were just things that needed to be done. For instance, there was a whole list of things at Clear Pond Park. In other words, that need repairing and stuff like that. And I think each of the parks had a separate list. Yeah, okay, so that's updated and it's on Google Doc.
I mean, we'll have to see, again, over the budget, tight budget, some of the stuff we're gonna have
Yeah, I
to do
know.
ourselves, however we can do it, see how it goes. But
Yeah, I
we'll
know.
know more once the budget season gets going. All right, I'll update everybody on that one. Scott, do you have anything else, old business? Paula?
No, I guess I do have a question for you, Joe, about Clear Pond Park. Did you want Tony and I to come up with a budget? Or are you gonna do that with the administrators?
We're gonna do that based on what, I sent out copies of those two forms not that long ago. I'm just gonna populate that based on prior years and taking a guess at what we think this year would bring in. And I'll let everybody know once we get close on where we stand on that. I mean, we're gonna have to make some concessions, obviously, because we're gonna make a balanced budget here. Again, that's why I was asking. I think we still have to decide relatively soon, I'd say by January, what we're gonna do at Clear Pond. I mean, I think we need to redo the job description for the director, because I think the other one was outdated for sure, or what we expect from them. Possibly what hours? Are we gonna just open 5 days a week, maybe just on weekends? We're gonna be open 7 days? How we think we're gonna do with lifeguards? We gotta start, advertising it soon. We wait until April, May, not gonna get any lifeguards. So people are gonna know if the park's gonna be open, closed, what days, and all that. I think that if they want a job there, right? We'll still go elsewhere. But there's gonna be some tight competition again for lifeguards, I'm assuming again this year.
Yeah, well, there's a whole list of things that need to be done, but I was kind of waiting until after the holidays to address so many of the things that are going to be issues in order to open the park. Yeah.
Again, I think we're gonna need, whatever those are, we're gonna have to address them, but I think maybe the first meeting of next year, we start putting things on the table. Because that, again, we gotta get the director position figured out. That's a tough position to fill. So how we're gonna do that and everything else. So I think we need to have this, that's gonna go hand in hand with the budget. But I can't wait for the budget to, can't wait to do that for the budget. I gotta do the budget first. So anyway. Anything else? Any old business? Scott, you have anything? Nelly? Paula?
No,
All right, I was looking at possibly for next meeting, how does January 3rd look? I don't think we want to meet around Christmas time. It probably wouldn't do us any good. But there are some things I think we need to do between now and then. Start thinking about the contracts. We want to revise those. I think we learned a lot on what's not in there, what can be removed and things like that. I'm gonna take one myself and just try to take a shot at it. I think we want to have a certain information the same, but we have to customize some for all other sports too. Some of the fees, we have to make sure that people don't realize the park usage fees, electricity, if we're gonna have them pay for fertilizer, how we're gonna spread that around. The do's and don'ts of what we want them to do around the parks, things like that there. I think we have to identify what we want done. For example, soccer, we want those nets moved off the field every night, things like that there. We can talk about the bathrooms, that they're gonna be responsible for the bathroom. We can't have another incident where people destroying them because it costs us money, things like that. So I think we have to really take a look at the contracts. So I suggest between now and January, people can look at them, see what kind of modifications you want to make, things like that. If you want to send them back and forth to the rest of us, take a look at, go right ahead. Don't wait till the meeting to start thinking about it if we could, because that's gonna be, and do we want to keep the fees the same? Who knows? Things like that there. I think we have to have that discussion. All right. Just my 2 cents worth. I will send out some things soon that I have a list. I just can't remember off the top of my head. I think you still need to look at going into next year. All right. Anybody got anything else? Going once, going twice? All right. I'd like to make a motion. We adjourn the meeting of the Lakeville Park Commission. Can I get a second?
Second,
Second,
Any discussion at all?
do we want to delay the meeting for another week in January? Do we have to have it on the 3rd?
No, we don't have to have it, there, but it'll be like a month away. That's all. I was thinking the 3rd. It's up to you guys. What do you think? I just threw out the date on the 3rd.
I was thinking that maybe after the holiday, it might be a little soon and we might be able to spend a little more time on a lot of the things that you're gonna need to know when we get back. I don't know. It's.
What are you
it's
guys
just a
thinking?
thought.
I guess, does anybody want to have a meeting in December? Or do we want to just go wait to January or whatever? You want to go the 10th? It's up to you guys. What are you thinking?
Well, Scott is busy, so let's ask him.
it
Does-
doesn't matter to me. You get into January,
Starting,
Let's make it the 10th then, at 7 o'clock. But please, let's do some homework between now and then. We have a lot of stuff we got to get done. We want to wrap up things like that. We don't want to wait for the meetings to do them. We lose more time. Speak to the other commissioners as well. I'll put out a list of things that I think we need to get going on. But feel free to email back and forth what stuff we could be working on, all right? We don't have to wait for the meetings to do that. All right? If there's nothing else, we'll take a vote on adjourning the meeting. Scott, how do you vote?
yes.
Yeah, Paula,
yes.
I'll give a yes as well. Folks, have a nice Christmas and New Year's, and